Joseph. Everybody remember? Joseph and the what? He was the one that had the special... You didn't want to go in there? Because you love me that much? Perfect answer. Perfect answer. So yeah, we talked about Joseph. We talked about how Joseph's brothers didn't like him that much. So they threw him in a pit. Then they pulled him up out of the pit. And then they sold him. So Joseph makes his way to Egypt. Joseph is a slave. Basically being sold from house to house. Or traded house to house. And Joseph is blessed. Wait, what? Joseph's in slavery and Joseph is blessed? How does that work? God? I mean, seriously. He goes there. And the only thing that's different between Joseph and other people that they can choose from to have as servants in their homes is the fact that Joseph prays to God. So a lot happens. He's in one house, and guess what? All of a sudden, that house begins to prosper. Everything they let Joseph control begins to do really, really well. Then there's this bad scene where this crazy lady acts crazy and messes it all up for him. So then he goes somewhere else, okay? He goes to prison for a while. He interprets dreams. I might be getting them out of order. It'll be okay. It doesn't matter. He has this really good, cool gift where he can interpret dreams. He ends up as Pharaoh's right hand. Now, for those of you that don't know nothing about no Egypt, so Pharaoh will be like the president. He the boss. Joseph is kind of sort of vice president. He's the one that is over lots of things, and everything Pharaoh lets Joseph touch prospers. So that's what's been happening with Joseph. Now where do we find him? Remember those, before we even go there, if your brothers or sisters, because you might have sisters, if they sold you basically into slavery, what would you think? What would you feel? And the next time you stood face to face with them, how would that go? These are tough questions. Lavette, you got two sisters in the house. If they ganged up and sold you, if we lived in an environment where that was still, okay. If they sold you for 30 pieces, 40 pieces, 50 pieces of silver into slavery, what would you think? And then when they miraculously appear again and stand before you, what would that do to you? What would that be like? I have two brothers. And I'm here to tell you, I'm not sure it would go well. Because I know me. So let's see how Joseph did.
Better than us.
You think? Well, see, at first the brothers come to him and Joseph says, I'm not going to tell him who I am. I'm going to play some tricks. Because you know who's his daddy. Remember? Trickster, Isaac. So he plays a few tricks on him. And finally, they're face to face. And the tricks are over. And Genesis chapter 45 says, Joseph couldn't hold himself in any longer, keeping up a front before all of his attendants. He cried out, "Leave! Everybody get out of here!" So there was no one with Joseph when he identified himself to his brothers. But his sobbing was so violent that the Egyptians could not help but hear him. The news was soon reported to Pharaoh's palace. Joseph spoke to his brothers. "I am Joseph. Is my father really still alive?" But his brothers couldn't say a word. Yeah, because the person you sold into slavery is now ruling everything, and you've got to stand there. They couldn't talk. They were speechless. They could not believe what they were seeing and what they were hearing. "Come closer to me," Joseph said to his brothers. They came closer. "I am Joseph, your brother, whom you sold into Egypt. But don't feel badly. Don't blame yourselves for selling me. What? God sent me here ahead of you to save your lives. There has been a famine in the land now for 2 years, and the famine will continue for 5 more years. There will be neither plowing nor harvesting. And God sent me on ahead to pave the way and make sure there was a remnant in the land, to save your lives in an amazing act of deliverance. So you see, it wasn't you who sent me here, but God. He set me in place as a father to Pharaoh, put me in charge of his personal affairs, and made me ruler of all of Egypt. Hurry back to my father and tell him, your son Joseph says, I'm master of all of Egypt. Come as fast as you can and join me here. I'll give you a place to live where you'll be close to me. You, your children, your grandchildren, your flocks, your herds, and anything else you can think of. I will take care of you here completely. There are still 5 more years of famine ahead. I'll make sure all of your needs are taken care of. You and everyone connected with you. You won't want for a thing. Joseph rocks. Joseph is faced with people that betrayed him and harmed him in the most ludicrous way. And he says, I will take care of you. I will take care of you. You're busted up and bleeding. I'll take care of you. You hungry? Let me go find you a biscuit. I'll take care of you. The interesting thing about Joseph, too, is the part where Joseph starts speaking about, you didn't do this to me. God put me here. Now, some people would argue that that is Stockholm Syndrome. I'm just saying, being in slavery and you talking about, yes, God put me here. I don't know. I'm not Joseph. I do know that there come appointed times in a person's life where you know that you're standing in a moment that changes everything. And when you stand in that moment that changes everything, it's a lot. It's heavy sometimes. It's hard to do. It's hard to walk in those shoes. Speaking of shoes, let's do something. All of you who are able, because not everybody is, take your shoes off your feet and put them on the wrong feet. Put your right shoe on your left foot. Your left shoe on your right foot. If you wore slip-ons, you are rocking it today. Serious. Do we all have them on the wrong feet? Are we ready? Oh, my little ones are still working. Let's give them a minute. It's hard to get them all them toes through all them little, y'all, woo. Y'all mamas are complicated. Your mama put you on some complicated sandals. Now, everybody got them on their own feet? Stand up. How's that feel?
Bad.
Walk around a little bit. Take a few steps.
Really?
Take a few steps. Everybody looking at their feet. They want to. Let me explain to Facebook what's happening. People are walking and looking at their feet because they're like, "Wait, am I really stepping where I'm supposed to step?" Did you take enough steps to know that that feels really, really? What? Yeah. What did it feel like?
Weird and awkward.
Weird, different, awkward. Did it hurt? It felt silly.
Silly.
You felt silly because you were having to do it in a room full of people.
All of the above.
All of the above.
It was wrong.
It was wrong. There you go. It was wrong. And guess what? That's what people of color in America feel like every day. They're walking in shoes that do not fit right. Because they're being told that they have to be this thing or this way. They have to fit in this mold. So that's what they feel like every day. Joseph too felt that way. He stood in shoes that were awkward when them brothers came and stood face to face with him. He was like, wow. Every dream I had when I was living at home is coming true. Cause see, we did the Joseph for Dummies, so we skipped a lot of stuff. So what y'all didn't get was Joseph dreamed at home. He dreamed well, specifically one that comes to mind. They had pushed together all the hay, right? So there were the big stalks of hay, big things of hay. And in the dream, only one stood and all of the others bowed. There were 12 sons of Israel. 11 stacks of hay bowed to one stack of hay. So when they come and they're face to face with Joseph is like, whoa. It felt like his shoes was on the wrong feet. It felt like he was in the twilight zone. And yet he said, I'll take care of you. We talked some last week about Charlottesville. And I need to just go ahead and tell you that I understand that people don't feel comfortable with a lot of that stuff. I understand that there are some people that think it doesn't belong in the church. And I understand that we don't want to come to church every week and get a political call to action. I understand all of these things. But I also understand that Joseph said, God put me here. God put me here for a time. God put me here so that when things went to crap, I would be here to hold your hand and to get you through it. So I'm telling you that perhaps God has put us here for this time. Maybe we're supposed to be here. Maybe you need to hear some political calls to action in your church. Because guess what? Jesus was not always just la-ti-da, let's love everybody, kumbaya. He got pissed off and he flipped some tables, did he not?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes love requires action. So, really, yeah, all the time. Love requires action. And if we say we follow Jesus, then we have no option. It's not, okay, maybe today I'll do it and tomorrow I won't. It's not like that. If you say you follow Jesus, then every day is the same. You get up, you put your shoes on the right feet, and you walk in love.
That's right.
And you say, I'm put here today, probably, to encounter you.
Mm-hmm.
And when I encounter you, one of us is going to leave this thing changed. And if I'm the one that's walking the way I'm supposed to be walking, I'm the one walking on the right side of love, then it better be you that walks away changed and not me.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So if you're put here for such a time as this, what is that? There's a scripture about it, y'all. If I can get there. All the time having trouble flipping. You are the ones chosen by God. Chosen to be a holy people. God's instruments to do his work. You are chosen to be God's hands and God's feet. You are chosen to speak out for God, to tell others of the night and day difference God made for you. From rejected to accepted. I put this on because, this is our gay pride flag. And you will see the gay people toting it. You will see our straight allies carrying it. It was fashioned in 1978 when everything was chaos. Gay people had nothing. You were supposed to stay hid in the closet and not come out. You weren't supposed to demand health care. You weren't supposed to be able to walk down the street holding each other's hands. It was just the way of the world. But then there were some people. They got put in some other people's paths for a reason. And they started standing up and they started saying, no, 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 no. Not right. If we are chosen and we are chosen by God to do God's work, then explain to me why churches don't want to talk about it. They don't want to talk about what happened in Charlottesville. And the ones that do, they want to talk about it on a Wednesday night when it ain't a full house. They don't want to talk about it on a Sunday morning when everybody's there. We're going to talk about it on Wednesday, so, if we ruffle some feathers, it'll only be a few. If we're really going to do this, then let's do this.
Amen.
And it doesn't matter if you're gay or if you're straight or if you're any version in between. It does not matter. What matters is God chose you for a time like this one. Mm-hmm. You're the ones that are going to stand up and say, you know what? We're standing on the shoulders of great ones. Mm-hmm. We're standing on the shoulders of those that came before us. And we're standing up and we're saying, I don't know what y'all smoking, but ain't no way in hell Nazis is ever going to be okay in this country. Amen. Mm-hmm. That's all I'm going to be political about. Mm-hmm. We have to walk in love. They are the opposite of love.
Amen.
Mm-hmm. So therefore, there is no reconciliation between the two. We don't get to go, yeah, I love you, peace, brother. No. We get to say, I follow Jesus. Jesus said I have to love you. Then the Bible also tells me that if I find you in sin, I'm to gently correct you. So as gently as I can say without using anything. Could you please put your sign down? Could you please shut up? Because what you're spewing ain't nothing that's in there. Mm-hmm. It ain't in there. God never said hate nobody. Jesus never said hate anybody. It's not there. So if they tell you, oh, we're a Christian organization, sit down and shut up. You don't know what you're talking about. That ain't in there. And if it ain't in there, it's wrong. Amen. And you are the people that say you follow Jesus. Again, don't matter about this. Don't matter which color represents you. Don't matter if you're straight and an ally. Don't matter. None of that matters. Mm-hmm. It matters if you, when put in the path of somebody who is doing wrong, stand up and say, I love you, but that's wrong. Mm-hmm. Actually, don't say but. Say, I love you and. I love you and that's wrong. Take the hood off. Throw it in the fire. Mm-hmm. Mm. And you know what? Let's just don't get stuck on them because there's a lot of people that be doing some hating. Mm-hmm. So I don't care who they are. I don't care what organization they're with. It's our jobs. It was Joseph's job to take care of people that sold him into slavery. Mm-hmm. It is our job to love these people and to show them that the way they are walking is wrong. Because that's what we were put here to do. That's our job as Christians. Even as just decent, good human beings, this is your job. Yeah. Hate cannot, will not win. Amen. We have to stand. That's why I said you're probably going to hear that song a lot. Because there's one thing I know about y'all. Y'all do love people. Y'all do know how to love people. What I'm asking you to do is more than that. Love them, and if they are put in your path, correct them. Don't you let them say one slur against any person of color. Don't you let them use derogatory terms to speak of your gay sisters and brothers. Don't you let anybody walk in hate. Now, I'm really big on, I don't like to ask y'all to do things that I myself would not do. So let me just go on and I'll be real. Y'all better pray for me. Mm-hmm. I told y'all last week I'm Southern fried. This is where I come from. My people are Georgia and Alabama people. We get together for little family gatherings and there's more Confederate flags than there is anything else. I mean, they're on t-shirts, they're on ball caps, belt buckles. So I have work. Amen. I have a Christian granny who I love with all my heart. And y'all know, because y'all been knowing me a while. But my Christian granny, she's struggling. She's struggling to understand why the flag need to come down. Why the statues need to come down. It's plain and simple. If we're going to be people that love people, then we can't constantly have memories of oppression. There's a place for those that's museum. I'm getting started again. Let me shut up. Love everybody. That's all we're supposed to do. Love everybody. And when they're put in your path, Joseph's brothers came back. What happened? Let me ask you a question. Did he forgive them? Did you hear him say, I forgive you? That didn't come out of his mouth. Didn't come out of his mouth. He said, I'm Joseph, your brother. I'll take care of you. So to forgive somebody, that only takes you. You don't need any involvement from them. You can forgive somebody all on your own and be just fine. Reconciliation, that takes two people coming to a meeting of the minds. So when we are walking the path that we were put here to walk, and we come face to face, what we're trying to do is have a meeting of the minds, a meeting of the hearts. And if they cannot, then you do what Jesus told the disciples to do. Walk away. Walk away. It'll save for another day. I'm here to take care of you. I'm here to take care of you. All of you. I'm here to find a way to love you and take care of you. And you're here to do the same for one another. And we're all here together to do that for every single person that we come in contact with. Because we're going to be the people, because it's already been done. We can't go backwards. It's already been done for us. But there are people that it has not been done for, and we have to get there with them. We cannot keep looking the other way. We cannot keep being quiet. Love all. And what? All means all. And all the people said,
Amen.